Hi, my name is Erin and I'm a K-5 elementary music teacher in Northern Indiana, and I'm also the teacher author behind From Do Re Mi to You. Now, it is September, which means Hispanic Heritage Month is upon us. And Hispanic Heritage Month lasts from September 15th to October 15th. So during this time, I tried to make a more concerted effort to include some Hispanic resources and songs into my classroom. Though, that being said, this month, these 4 weeks, should not be the only time we sing songs in Spanish. Now, for my fifth graders, I love teaching the song El Citrón. And this is a great song because number one, it's in Spanish, though most of the words are nonsense, but I can also use it to prep low so, as well as teach or present dotted quarter notes. Now, that being said, my fifth graders learned dotted quarter notes last year in fourth grade in terms of compound meter. But now let's see how we teach a beat that lasts 1.5 beats. I'm going to go through my entire teaching process of the song El Citrón, but if you want to have your planning done for you, I've got all the slides that I use in my classroom down below. So here's how I teach El Citrón. So the first thing that I do in teaching the song is that I sing it to them. Because the song is in a foreign language and most of the words are nonsense, the words are way trickier than the melody. If you don't know the song, there's a couple of variations, but the main version that I know goes like this. El Citrón de un fandango, singo, singo, sabare de la rondella con su tricky, tricky tron. So I'll sing it for them and ask them with the words what language they think it might be in. Where do you think the song might be from? And some students may recognize some of the words as being Spanish, like El Citrón. It means lemon. So I'll show them a picture of where Mexico is located on the map, a picture of a lemon tree, just to provide some extra context. But then it comes time to teaching the song. Now again, the words are way harder than the melody. So before I teach the melody, we go through and we'll chant the words. El Citrón. De un fandango, sango, sango. You get the idea. And then we can put the words together in longer chunks. And once they are able to chant the words, then we sing it by rote. El Citrón de un fandango, sango, sango, sabare de la rondella con su tricky, tricky tron. Now, after that, we always talk about the steady beat. And on my slides, I have little lemons slices showing where the steady beats are. And we always talk about the steady beat being the heartbeat of the music. But once we have reviewed the steady beat, I want to introduce or review the concept of time signatures. I usually teach time signatures in second and third grade with my students, so they should recognize that this song has 4 beats or 4 lemons every measure before you get to a bar line. But if you look closely at the song, you'll notice that the first measure only has 1 lemon and the last measure only has 3. It's a pickup note, or if you want to be really extra with your students, an anacrusis. So this is the perfect time to present what a pickup note or anacrusis is. And then we go back and we sing the song again. And when we sing the song, we always keep that steady beat. But this song, if you don't know, is also a passing game. So as I keep that steady beat, I'm going to start prepping that passing game. And it doesn't matter which hand you use to pass, as long as you are consistent. But I have them pat back and forth. El Citrón de un fandango, singo, singo, all the way across. And that's what I usually do for day 1. Now, on day 2, it's time to present dotted quarter notes. So we'll review the song again, and I always like to have them go through the song and figure out how many syllables there are per beat. Now, when you get to dotted quarter notes and complicated rhythms like this, I don't want to make it too confusing off the bat. So I'm going to put those beats as green lemons or limes. And I just have the students focus on the rhythms that they know first. And in this song, besides dotted quarter notes, you just have paired eighth notes or toddy, or you have quarter notes, ta. And so we'll mark those with iconic notation, either half-size lemon slices or full lemon slices. But then it's time to figure out our new rhythm, the green lemons or the limes. Now, I have them look at the words. I isolate just the top line where there's 2 sets of dotted quarter note followed by a single eighth note. And I have them look at the words. And they may notice that one word is really long with a line going across, and then another word that's like not under a beat. Something is off, right? So this is where I introduce the story of the lemonade stand. So the lemonade stand story goes like this. You have two kids that are running a lemonade stand, Jade and Ava, and they are very precise about how much lemonade goes into each cup, 1 beat's worth. Ta, 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 ta. Now one day they were busy filling cups for all of their customers, but Jade got a little distracted talking to Eva and filled the first cup too full. And when she went to go fill the second cup, there wasn't as much lemonade left to go in there. So the first cup had more than the second cup. Now the cups are still the same sizes. By the way, the cups represent the beats, but they were filled differently. So instead of ta, ta, you have ta, mi. Now, there are a lot of different rhythm syllable systems out there. So whether you use Kodai, Takajimi, Gordon, in my slideshow, I put as many options as I could think of ways that I've heard teachers using dotted quarter notes with rhythm syllables. So you can choose which one works for you. But then I show them about how dotted quarter notes work because there's fractions and rhythms. My kids, they think it's crazy that I start getting to math lessons when I talk about fractions, but it helps the kids see how the 2 quarter notes, breaking them down into 4/8 notes, group 3 together, and you've got a dotted quarter note, a beat that's worth 1.5 beats, and then you've got a single 1/8 note to represent that last 1/8 note. And that's the story of the lemonade stand. So then we can take our new rhythm with the full lemon and then the little tiny slice and add that into our rhythm of the song. Those limes become dotted quarter notes. So then we go through, we read the rhythm again with the rhythm syllable that we use in our classroom. We use Takajimi. And then we do it with the iconic notations and then just the written notation. And like that, they're reading dotted quarter notes, which is really exciting. Now, this song is also a passing game. So I'm going to take you down to the floor and show you how to do the passing game for Citrón. I think traditionally this passing game was done with rocks, though in my classroom we typically use speed stacking cups that my gym teacher counterpart and I share. I don't have my speed stacking cups with me. I left them at school for the summer, but I've got this old Kona ice cup that's seen better days that will work. A couple other things of note for this song. Number 1, it does not matter which hand you pass with as long as you are consistent about it. For the longest time, I always did passing games with using my right hand because I am right-handed. I'm right-hand dominant. But I encourage you, especially if you're going to be starting recorders soon, to do a passing game using your left hand and get those righties feeling a little bit more confident about using their left hand. And number 2, if you are teaching the song and prepping it before they pass any circle, I encourage you to be their mirror, which means if you want them to pass with their left hand, when you face them to demonstrate it, you need to pass with your right hand. And then when you get into a circle and you are passing with them, you have to switch back to your left hand, which can be a little tricky to begin with, but overall it helps the students a lot. All right, so let's go through the process. This song is pretty easy, but I'm gonna move the camera so you can see my cup a little bit better. All right, so for the passing game, every student gets a cup in front of them. Now, because I only have 1 cup and no one to pass to me, after I pass the cup to the side, I need to bring mine out here, but in the real world, I would have another cup placed in front. So the song starts off really simple like this. You pick up on the pickup notes, Alcy, and then you pass on the downbeat. So the downbeats 1 and 3, you pass, and the upbeats 2 and 4, you grab and pick it up. Okay, like this. Al Citrón de un vendingo, singo, singo, sabare, sabare de la rondella. Then on the last line, the really tricky line, instead of just passing it like we did before, you're gonna grab on consu, tricky, tricky, tron. All of a sudden, you're gonna tap to the other direction in the middle and then pass and let go at the end. If that is too much, you can have them practice consu, tricky, tricky, tron, or consu, tricky, tricky, tron to keep it in their personal space. Either one of those works. All right. Now I'm going to show you about how to incorporate xylophones into the song as well. All right, for the xylophones, I usually try to teach two parts. Number one, a steady beat bordune, and number two, a rhythm where they get to practice dotted quarter notes. Now, I have my xylophone upside down on purpose, so when you do this, you can be my mirror, which means when I say what hand I'm using, I know I'm using the opposite of what I'm saying, but I am doing this backwards, so you could be my mirror. Now, we sing the song in the key of F, which means for our bordune, we need F, little c, and then the little f above it, which means our right hand is going to stay on that C, and our left hand switches back and forth between the big F and the little f. And our song sounds like this. Al Citrón de un fandango, singo, singo, sabare de la rondella con su tricky, tricky drum. Now, if we all did it correctly, we're gonna end on that little F together. Now, the second part that I teach, I want them to practice that dotted quarter note rhythm, and whatever rhythm syllable system that you use, we're gonna do it on F. And if they're having a hard time of feeling where to put that single eighth note, you could have them click in between. And try to keep that click as quiet as possible because we don't want them to feel like there's a rest there. And we'll try to put those two parts together. I try to keep it really simple with this song because there's a lot going on with this new rhythm. Now, once students have learned dotted quarter note followed by a single eighth note, it's time to practice, practice, and practice some more. Complicated rhythm concepts like this can be really tricky for certain students, so the more repetition you get, the better. So here are some ways that I like to continue practicing dotted quarter note. Number one, having digital flashcards. I like digital flashcards because they are big, easy to read, and I get to control the pace. So we'll put on a backing track from YouTube. Actually, there's some really good mariachi music that can work in the background as well. I'll see if I can link one down below or in the blog. But we'll have music on in the background, and then I get to control how fast we go through the cards. And it's okay to pause if we need to go back and review a certain rhythm because the music just keeps playing. Number two, having a digital game where students can practice rhythms. So I created a digital which rhythm game where as kids start to get the answers correct, they start to slowly reveal a picture of a lemon tree. And these games are great because we can either do it as a full group activity as a class, or especially if there's a day where I'm absent, I can actually push that game out on Google Classroom, and then every student gets a copy of their own for them to practice. And number three, worksheets. I don't do a ton of written assessments in the classroom because we're so busy active music making, but having some sort of written practice can be really beneficial for us as teachers, especially if we have to give grades. So there you have it. El Citrón is a really fun song for Hispanic Heritage Month or really any time of year. And it's the perfect song to teach dotted quarter note, add a passing game, add xylophones, and everything else. So I've given you my entire teaching process, but if you want to make your planning even easier, I have all the slides and everything that I talked about down below. And as always, happy music making, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!